and it's going to be put up on the website. So once again, I encourage all of you to participate, but just keep in mind that this is a public forum. And while I do request that everyone don't, if you do spread something personal here, just be prepared for it to be somewhere on the internet because that's the way the internet works. So, so let's get right down into it. Who thinks they're fairly productive in their work and who wants to share that? I'm always dangerous when I throw that out there because nobody ever wants to go. But if you do, it's a good time to kind of mention some of the things that you think you do to make yourself a little bit more efficient. Don't be shy. Okay, Lavette, I could always count on Lavette. Hi, Lavette. Tell everyone
Hi,
where you are, please.
Norfolk, Virginia, Southampton Roads.
Okay, please. So talk to us about efficiency. Are you efficient? What are you doing to stay efficient?
So one of the things that I do is and I missed the cold calling the thing that you had a couple weeks ago. But from Monday through Friday from 8 to 12, I just cold call. I call expires, I call withdrawals, I circle prospect, and so yeah, I do that constantly.
Okay. And well, then you're doing constantly. So either A, you're nuts, which I don't think you are. B, it's working.
You know what? It's funny because it's like I really feel like I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor because I've been doing it consistently since the beginning of the year. And I've always done it, but I've been on the dialer consistently. Normally, I would just kind of do it from my spreadsheet or just be all over the place. But my company has Vulcan 7, so I've been consistently on the dialer since the beginning of the year. And I've had all of my closings have been from year to date, which hasn't been a whole lot, but had been from the dialer. And it's starting to pick up, which is weird. It's just like it seems like I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor.
But
I'm
why is that
getting
weird? Hold on. To back up. Why is that weird? That you're working
well,
and it's working out?
no, because I feel like it was like nothing for like ever, and then probably within the last month or so, I'm going on more listing appointments. So yes, it's like it's just starting to really pick up when
Okay.
it was just like dead.
Good for you. Listen, that's what we're all going for. That's what
Mhm.
we're all going for, and I think that's great. Let's get right into it. I want to show everyone. First of all, I want to thank Daniel, who's always working so hard for all of us. He's a great guy for all of you to know. Daniel, please put your email address up there. His email address is in there. If you could put your email address in, because Daniel, we put this thing together, 15 powerful productivity strategies for realtors. There's an AI image of me that's not really me, but I like the way he looks there. And it gives the table of contents as well as something that you could use beyond the meeting. So if you'd like that, please say interested or you want it and put your email address in the chat and Daniel will email it to you right away so you could actually see. And this is definitely one of the things that we're working on and some of the stuff that you could take right from the meeting so you don't have to take as many notes. Definitely put that out for all of you. So let's get right into it. The let's talk about some of the first tasks. The 2 minute rule. Anybody want to give a guess of what the 2 minute rule is? Okay. If it could be completed within 2 minutes, you do it. If it can't, then you hold off on it. Again, a very, very simple rule, simple technique, something for you to consider in the work that you're actually doing. A good example might be where somebody says, you're on the way to an appointment and you need to try and you have someone ask you a very specific question. Some of you, myself included, will say, okay, I'll get back to this in a few hours. One of the things that the 2 minute rule is suggesting is that you are actually putting more time on your plate in the future and it's not worth it. Don't do that. So one of the things that's out there is the 2 minute rule. Immediately follow up, update, schedule the appointment, get that done very, very quickly. Does anyone know the term eat that frog? Anyone follow Tracy? Uh, what the heck's the guy's name? I'm going to remember in a minute. Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy, famous motivational speaker. Eat that frog is saying that if the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is you eat a frog, that's the worst thing that you could possibly do in the morning. Everything else is going to seem so much better. And what that's essentially saying is now Terry's looking a little grossed out there. It's not really saying eat the frog. What it's saying is do the crap first. Try and find a way to do the worst part of your day at the beginning of the day, and therefore everything else will follow in. Does that resonate with anybody? Does anybody not? Andy, okay. I'm going to pick on Kenny for a second. Kenny, up early in California. What do you what are your thoughts on that?
No, you know, if not your thing, if you got something really to deal with, if you don't call it, it's just gonna be on your mind all day and it's gonna mess you up for other stuff. I'm dealing with a problem right now that I've got to get on the phone. That's the first thing I'm gonna do. I tried to do it late yesterday, but get it out of the way, like the cold calling. I've never been a cold caller. Usually I'm out early in the morning having in a deli or something and meeting people, which is nice and easy in a lot of ways, but the follow-up after that, really, so I got a meeting at 10 o'clock this morning with someone I met the other day. So I just like scheduled it early. Let me just go see if this guy's real or not. So
So,
uh
so with regard to cold calling, because a few of you have mentioned this now, try this psychological hack. I'm going to divert from the meeting for a second. It was easier for me when, I'm happily married. When I wasn't, I was dating. This is a long time ago. And I remember that, it's hard it's hard for all of us, but it's hard for me, and it was hard for a lot of the guys I knew to actually approach a woman. He just didn't want to face the rejection. And I think a lot of that is the same thing with the actual cold call, going back to eat the frog, just get it over with. One of the things that I realized was I took on a mindset. Now, all of you are going to think that I'm really arrogant because of this, and I hope that this doesn't scare you away. But I was genuinely surprised. That was going to be my attitude. Genuinely surprised that a woman wouldn't want to have dinner with me. Now, that doesn't mean she's not going to marry me, sleep with me, do any of that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, what am I doing that's so bad? I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a bad looking guy. I won't say I'm the most gorgeous thing in the world, but I was genuinely surprised if I said to someone, let's get dinner, or, I'd love to take you out sometime, that they would reject that. If you could try and carry that attitude onto your cold calls. Now, a little bit different. You're calling out of the blue and it's a different sales pitch and it's kind of tough there. But try and take on that mindset. And usually, FYI, when I was single, usually I'd get dinner. Usually there was not much more, but usually there was dinner. And that was the thing that actually worked. If you could adopt a certain mindset, it actually works and works well. So 80-20 rule. Who knows the 80-20 rule? Anyone? Andy Neal, I'm going to get Terry in a second. Andy Neal, the 80-20 rule? Do they have that in Great Britain?
They do. I think that's
Okay.
universal, isn't it?
Okay. Want to describe it?
Yeah, 20%. So I do know it. I can't describe it. I've had a brain fog. Is it
Okay.
20% of the work you do gets 80? I can't. I do know it. I just can't explain it.
Okay. 20% of the winnings or 80% of the winnings come from
From
20%
20% of the work
effort.
that you do.
80% of your headaches. Remember this, guys. A lot of what we do is cutting crap out of our business. 80% of your headaches comes from 20% of the source. Now, this isn't something that's just a saying. It's actually got some scientific backing. It was identified by a man named Vilfredo Pareto, hence Pareto's principle. He was an economist and a priest in Italy in, I think, the 1500s. And he made the observation, he was also a gardener, and he made the observation that his pea pods that he was growing, 80% of the crop was yielded by only 20% of the crop. 80% of the product of the peas were derived from 20% of the crop. He then also made the observation as an economist that 80% of the property in Rome was owned by 20% of the landlords. And then he noticed this everywhere else. Where else is that going to be, guys? Take a look at that. We see this all the time. The vital few and the trivial many. Now, how could you actually lean in on this? Terry, I'm going to pick on Terry for a second. The 80-20 rule, I know that that's something that you and I have discussed before. How do you lean in on that for your business? Let's just talk about that briefly.
How do I lean in on that for my business?
We're expecting the question, so if you want to talk it through, we can.
Do your best to be that 20%. shave off the 20% of the people or incidences that are taking up 80% of your time so you can donate, so you can remotivate, I am having trouble with the
Well, everybody
English
seems
language
to.
this morning.
Don't worry.
So you can use that time to make more money.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself or my team now, like, how do we become that 20%? What can we do to streamline our services, to talk to more potential clients and customers, to service the ones that we already have, to maintain our 20% status,
Sure.
which is always an ongoing conversation to be having.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you stop and think about it, this is why in every one of our meetings, I'll say to you, what are the wins of the week? At the end of this meeting, you guys should write this down now because I really would love to hear from you. What are the wins of the week? Because if you figure out where the wins are coming from, here's the thing, you're going to begin to see a pattern. You're going to begin to see that there's a certain person, certain type of person, certain category. You'll hear me speak about the country club that I live and work in, or I should say I farm in, because so much opportunity comes here. And yet, I'm guilty of the same thing that many of you are guilty of, and that is not putting enough resources into this vital 20%. So much of my business comes here. Let's put it this way. I've got someone, she's the adult daughter of an elderly woman here. She bought an $8 million home apartment from me. Okay? $8 million. Let me say it with an echo. Okay? I mean, it was a big bloody deal. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I mean, I mention this because it's one of the biggest deals I've had. And I will say that it's because I spent the time nurturing the farm. Remember, 80-20 rule, the trivial few and the vital few and the trivial many. It's in the brochure. If you didn't put your email address in the chat, please do, or chime in if you're driving and let us know that you want this sent to you. And Daniel will certainly do that. Time blocking. I certainly am not having anyone screw with me right now. This is my time with you. So, I have this argument with my daughter all the time who's on her iPhone and looking at 12 different things. And I see that Dina's not here. Samantha is, but Dina's not here this morning. She's going to a home inspection. But, one of the things that I see with these kids, they're sitting around and they're doing their iPhone and talking to all this. You can't focus on more than one thing at a time. It is scientifically proven. Now, I get into this debate with Dina all the time, and I adore her, and she's on my team, and I'm not going to get into this. She said that men can't do it as well as women. Women are better multitaskers. Maybe so, but why bother? If you could actually focus on that one thing at a time, very, very important. I don't know how many of you actually have your day planned, but this is really important for you to get it right, because you're going to find that there's so much stuff and so much time that actually gets wasted. Okay. So I want to do this. Here's another idea: batching similar tasks. So if you're working on paperwork, that's why I'll say there's certain days that are a paperwork day. If I'm doing some of the marketing stuff and it's written, I might also do some of the accounting later that day. Why? Psychologically, you're going to be working on this. And again, all of this is taken in the notes in the PDF that we have for you. So you could actually stop and implement just a couple of these things. Try it, see what happens. You're going to find that, in fact, in some cases, I've had clients say to me that they've had more time on their hands. They didn't really know what to do. I'm like, okay, great. Now we could work on that. We could build a plan about it. Here's the thing. Too many of you are winging it. I mean, too many of you are just saying, I'm waking up today. Yesterday was a similar day, and screw it. I'm just going to wing it. And I think that's an enormous mistake for you. I really do. You don't want a brain surgeon that's just going to wing it. Okay. You don't want a firefighter that's just going to wing it. You want to practice. You want to get your craft. You want to understand it. If you don't do this, you will be replaced by Zillow. I'm sorry. That is just the laws of life. You will be replaced by a robot. And if you come to places like here or go to other forums and actually rehearse and practice what you do and identify what's going to be the strong points, that's going to be huge. Anyone want to chime in on this? I'm the big talking head today, and I'd love to hear some commentary if anybody has it. Okay, jump in if you want. I'm going to keep going. Got lots of the stuff. We talked about Eat the Frog. And okay, so here, 1-1-3-5 rule. This is another one that
Everybody, Terry here.
Terry,
Yeah.
were you saying something?
I thought so.
Sorry.
Sorry. Sorry. Okay, I got that. The 1-3. Okay, let me gather. 1-3-5 rule. Basically, if you plan your list like this, write this down. It's really important. Write down one big task that you've got for the day. Okay. Write down 3 medium tasks that you have for the day, and then 5 small tasks for the day. Find a way to declare a victory on your day. For example, a big task might be that you've got a listing appointment, and all the things that go around that listing appointment is so crucial. See, the problem is today we're now clicking send and receive over and over again, thinking that we're getting work done because we have something mechanical is going on. But the reality is that you're not. So actually try and think it through. If you could plan out the day, 1 big tasks, 3 medium tasks, 5 small tasks. I want to take a pause for just 1 minute because, Eddie Glantz just came into the meeting here. I don't know if he could unmute himself, and I always out Eddie here for this. Eddie is in Asheville, North Carolina. You've been all over the national news. How are you doing, my friend?
I am really, really lucky. I live in Hendersonville, just a little town outside of Asheville, but we're all kind of, had the same kind of effects from this storm. But thankfully, I have a house, I have a roof, and, a lot of folks here can't say that. So we feel really, really lucky, and just wanted to pop in and say, hey, that we're good. And thanks for all the people that reached out to ask about us.
Yeah. And Eddie is a great guy. He is your realtor in that area, real professional. He's done a few deals through here. Everyone's kind of loved their clients, more importantly, have loved working with him, and that's great stuff. And you were correct about this. Unfortunately, who is it? Just everyone who comes to the meeting probably knows Alicia Warburton. Terry, you know Alicia, right? Okay, well, I spoke with her. Regrettably, her house was destroyed. And so it's a very big shame. I'm now trying to spearhead some type of support. Again, I don't know if it's just money. I invited her to stay with us for a couple of weeks. I don't know if she'll take us up on that. And again, I'm in a different part of Florida, but a lovely lady. If you could help someone, there's no better testament to success than being able to extend help to someone. It always comes back to you. This is Ed speaking here. As far as karma, it is a huge thing. It could be a bitch as well, but it works in the other direction. Usually people look at it as a negative way. Eddie, great to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. And believe me, I really was losing sleep over you. I really was like saying, God, what happened to that guy? The images just were horrific.
And for a lot of folks, man, it really was. It is a disaster beyond what I would have ever imagined. Just luckily, my little pocket here, we're fine. I've got a big tree down, but it did minimal damage. And, so there's lots and lots of folks that, don't have any of that. So I'm just thankful to be where we are. And yeah, definitely reach out. I'll send you a couple organizations that I know do good work locally, that if somebody wants to donate to, that'd be great.
Sure. Absolutely. Definitely share that on the Facebook page, and certainly share it with Daniel, and we'll circulate it. But we've been a very, very generous group, and I think that's fabulous. Okay, now I won't digress anymore. The not to-do list. Has everyone heard of a to-do list? Of course you have, but I bet you haven't heard of do not do list. Okay. More important because we get strung up on all kinds of things that don't even matter. Again, that false sense of actually getting work done when you're really not. So take a look. There's some techniques put into the PDF of what you can do to build that up and to be able to implement a do not do list. Do not to do. I forgot what we called it, but a lot of people have done that. You get the point. Don't do certain things. Waking up in the morning, first thing, looking at social media. And most of you know I'm a huge social media guy. I'm working very hard to wean myself off of that. I'm working very, very hard to try and get focused. I went to the gym this morning. Usually my excuse on Wednesdays is, I've got Rain Nation. I can't do it. Not true. Went to the gym. Important stuff. Important stuff. So let's
You're looking so skinny, Edmund.
Hey, back off, Harvey Weinstein, okay?
Can you turn sideways and stick out your tongue? We'll see if
Yeah,
you want.
no, and then I'm a zipper. I get it. Yeah, you see that? So this is here. Here's one other little hack I did. I forgot the all this is in the notes. There's a woman who's a great motivational speaker. She has the 5-3-1 5-3-1 technique. If you actually wake up in the morning and you don't want to get out of bed, guys, I'm just telling you it's a hack. That's what I promised you today. I'm giving you lots of hacks. You go 5-4-3-2-1, blast off, and you get your ass out of bed. It immediately gets you focused. It immediately gets you doing something. You've got to start. You've got to find that one little thing to do. If you actually start really small with these things, here's one other thing that is kind of a cousin to this, is you don't want to, I've spoken to some of you and said, well, I want to get starting to write letters, but I look at the huge database. Make one move. One letter that you're going to write to somebody you do not know or that you barely know, that you just met, saying who you are in your neighborhood as a community and what you could actually do for them. One letter today. That's all I want. It's going to take you all of 5 minutes. Okay? Do one push-up if you don't want to make work out. Just try one. And what's amazing is that there's so much more. And if you want to go to 2, you could go to 2. But let's go back to the 1. Let's say you only do one mailer. I've done in the last month 65 letters. I do roughly 2 a day. So far, I've had 3 phone calls. Now, it's not resulted in a deal just yet with that. It always does eventually. But let's take a look at those numbers for a second. We're talking about a 5% return. Where else are you getting that kind of return? You know, those are just 2 letters a day. Let's go with a tremendous amount of time and say that's 20 minutes. A lot of you will look at the aggregate and say, I don't have the time. I think it's a shitty way to look at it. Don't look at it that way. This is a real easy thing to do, and it pays off. So try and think of things. What else can you do in 1 minute? Who are my friends that hate the cold calls? Make one cold call immediately after this meeting. Immediately after this meeting, do it. See what happens. It's not going to be, again, it's not a symptom of a disease here. You're making a living, and you're not some company asking somebody to switch from something good to something bad. You are good at what you do. At least I hope you are if you're going to be here, and you're certainly trying to make yourself better. So if you're really working on that, make that one call. One thing a day, great stuff. Let me just see if there's anything else. Time management, I'm not going to go over this here because we've got another great meeting, and here's my commercial plug. On Friday, that's 2 days from now, I think it's this Friday. Let me just take a look. We've got, mastering time. So we're going to talk about all kinds of techniques to master time and time management. That's going to be Friday, 12 noon, right here on Zoom. It will be a bitch and disco time. I hope all of you can make it. Here's another thing that you might want to do is go through a weekly review of the work that you're really doing right now. I'm going to show a couple of AI tools that have come out that I think are worth knowing. Again, I spend your money very carefully. Some of the stuff is free. Some of this comes at a cost. All of the stuff is constantly coming out with Mel Robbins. Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, where are you, Wendy? She's somewhere here. But thank you so much. That was Mel Robbins did the 5-4-3-2-1. But yeah, all of this is really, really important. If you have some type of weekly review, a daily review, you'll be able to take stock in what's actually worked and to reduce and eliminate the stuff that's not working. My whole thing with my philosophy, and you need to be kind of prepared to buy into it a little bit, is not to work your ass off till you're carried out by your pallbearers. I mean, that's not what this is about. What this really is about is trying to be as efficient as possible, and to stand for dignity. There's clients that we've all had that feel you must be beaten up for you to earn your money. Does anyone agree with that statement? I mean, I see that a lot, but I'm, for God's sakes, I'm 56 years old. I've got a college education. I don't need to put up with this shit. I don't. I don't. I'm not going to get beaten up. That's the whole thing. And I want all of you to have that standard. If you don't have any dignity, then you are a bitch. And that's not good. I don't want you to be that bitch. I really don't. I want you to be able to stand up and be able to say that you're there, you're going to see eye to eye with the customer, you're going to work your ass off because it's the right thing to do, but it's not going to be a master-servant relationship. That's not what you're there for. And again, I think so much of this is so important. If you don't have the dignity in the business, you're just going to fail because you're not going to want to keep it up. I've given this example before for those of you who remember Slim Fast. Anybody know the Slim Fast diet? A shake for breakfast, a shake for lunch, and then a sensible meal. That was the commercial. A sensible meal, if I've had 2 drinks all day, is the side of a cow. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. It doesn't make any sense. You just can't willpower your way into a diet, and you can't willpower your way into sales. Strategy and structure is going to be what will take you through over glitz. That's what this is about here, strategy and structure. Throw out questions if you guys have any. Yeah, I want to be able to get that out there. I also want to be able to talk with all of you. Again, if you haven't requested the PDF, please do take it. Please do stop, reflect on it, call me, tell me what you might be liking, what you're disliking, and let me show you, before we get to wants, needs, and brags, a pretty cool AI that is out there now. In fact, I think I need to probably turn off my background for you to see it. Let me just see. Where's the just where's this? None. Okay. See a very uneventful background that I've got here. Okay, so there is an app called Martin. It's trymartin.com. Daniel, if you could put trymartin, TRYMARTIN.com in there. He's a very young CEO, and I had him on this podcast, on this meeting about a year ago. I think it's a year ago. Anyway, the guy raised several $1 million, and he's got a pretty cool app. When I mean young, I mean he's like 22. So, to me, I've got my daughter's older than that. So I guess he could be like my son. But one of the things that we're doing with this, and we're going to start using it more and more within my mastermind, is that this guy can actually, every day it asks you to debrief in the morning and debrief in the evening, which I think is wicked cool. So you talk to the AI and it actually makes notes about what's gone on. You dictate what's happened to you during the day and what your plan is for tomorrow. And it will start to logically learn about you and make suggestions based on that. It's a vocal AI, and here we'll give him a shot here. He's starting up. I just clicked that little button on the bottom, and then you hold it to talk and say, "Good morning, Martin. I'm in my my mastermind meeting. Can you tell all these nice folks about you and what you do?"
Good morning, Edmund. Sure thing. Hello, everyone. I'm Martin, Edmund's personal AI butler. I help manage his schedule, send reminders, fetch information, and handle various tasks to make his life easier. Whether it's checking the weather, finding the latest news, or coordinating meetings, I'm here to assist. If you have any questions or need help with something, feel free to ask.
Okay, so let me ask you that.
If there's anything, just let me know.
That's not a great British accent.
Sorry. Yeah, it's probably not, but let me just get one more thing here. Again, my connection is crappy. I always have this. Here we go. So, Martin, just tell me this. Do you make phone calls and send emails and texts on behalf of the people who are using you as well for the subscribed version? Can you describe what that is exactly?
Absolutely, Edmund. Yes, I can make phone calls, send emails, and texts on your behalf. For the subscription version, I handle tasks like scheduling reminders, adding events to your calendar, and even managing your to-do list. Essentially, I'm here to make your life easier by taking care of these tasks so you can focus on more important things.
So, this thing is the technology is still in its infancy. It's getting better and better. I had it text a few people that I knew yesterday, but here's the thing. When it gets the context of what it knows, for example, I'm programming more and more about what Rain Nation is. I could have it text at first people like my allies, people like Livette, and people like Terry, and people like Kenny, who I've known for a while and who seem really into this. And I will have them send, I'm going to start to have Martin send you texts, and it will actually get to know you get to know what we've done in past meetings and be able to say, by the way, Terry, you didn't RSVP for the meeting. Can you make it? Or Livette or whoever might have been here. And it will be able to get that dialogue together and keep it organized for me on a spreadsheet about who's coming, who's not coming. That's just one aspect of how I'm putting it to use. Again, every meeting, I like to bring a good technology to you. I'm impressed with this kid. There's a free version of it. There's also a paid version. The free is, of course, free. Paid, I believe, is $30 a month. Again, I spend your money very carefully. The good news is you could give it a try for a month. And if you don't like it, you could just stop paying and stop using it. Livette, please. You can unmute.
Question for you. How does it communicate with you? Does it just send you like emails, or does it actually just kind of just randomly say something to you in your phone?
No. Well, you push a button to talk to it, which I like because there's so much background noise sometimes. These AIs pick up other people's conversations. And then I can access, it's multimodal, meaning there's multiple ways that it'll talk to you. One, it could send text messages both to you and to your database. It has access to my database. I've given it access. It could send emails to me and other people, and it can make phone calls as well. So if I have something on my schedule, for example, call Livette or to see if we can set up a meeting and remind me of that at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, it will both put that in my calendar and text me at the time that I need to get it out there. It is a very powerful, wicked cool technology. Again, I don't know where all this is heading because I've got so many different tools that I'm using. I want to kind of encapsulate it all into one. But I do promise everyone in this meeting that I'll bring you good new technology at every meeting so that you could see it. Trymartin.com. Daniel's already put it up there. Also, Daniel's put his email address. If you want the workbook from today, please do send Daniel an email or put your email address in the chat here, and we will get it out to you. Okay, that's what I have. Let's get to wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. But my brag is that Eddie's okay. My brag is that my friend, I've not gotten together with Eddie in person, but I feel like I know him so well because we've known each other for a few years, and he's always such a positive force and a great guy. And it's so nice to see. It really was something that was just bothering me, and I'm so happy to see that you're okay. So that's my brag today. Who's next?
That'll be my brag too, Edmund. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Echo that, Edmund.
So who else? Who's got a listing? Who's got look at that. Daniel's got the balloons going. That's great. Livette's got a listing, or she's got something going on. What's up, Livette?
Yes, I have a listing. And I also want to say that I've been using AI chat GPT to do my CMA reports.
Yeah.
And it's actually really been a game changer. I find that the clients really like it. And I did set up my FedEx account, so I'm going to start sending out the CMA a day thing.
Good.
I'll let you know if I get anything from it.
Well, the real one, thank you for saying that, Livette. Greg, I don't know if you're available to unmute yourself, but Greg has been doing it. The last we spoke, you did 15 CMAs and got 3 listing appointments. Is that still accurate? Greg? Okay, I don't know if he's there. His picture's there, but I don't know if he's there. But he had done this to some great success. We certainly do it to great success. So I would say the CMA a day. Livette, how much are you spending on the FedEx or whatever overnight service you're using?
I actually haven't started sending them out yet. I've been doing the reports on my, to go on my listings, but I was quoted $8 and some change.
$8 and change. And it's like there in 2 or 3 days, 3 days, something like that?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So that is something that really works. If you do that CMA a day to a targeted area, and you're using the prompts that we generated?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if any of you want that prompt that we've generated for AI, we have a prompt for you. It will help you plug in certain information about your target properties and target areas and be able to generate a CMA. Again, it's not without work. You're going to have to put some time in and make some changes, but it really is a boost to being able to get the job done. With that, I'm so happy to hear you say that. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And the other thing that I do, I ask ChatGPT to kind of just create a template. So when I go in, just kind of update it, it'll just kind of keep spitting out the same report, but with different information and little things I tell it to kind of focus on.
Sure. I will bring the new information as I see it. I count on all of you to let me know about the tools that you're discovering as well. And then we will thoroughly research it and bring it back as it relates to real estate. So it's kind of a cool tool. Okay, who else? Greg, are you with us now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Greg Coggins. Oh, there he is. Okay, good. So the CMA a day, are you still standing at 3 listing appointments you've had, or 3 listings?
I'm at 7 listings and I'm by myself, so that's a little maxed out for me. I haven't done it in the last, I guess probably 2, 3 weeks, but out of those 7 listings, 3 of them came out of that.
Wow. So you're by
Yeah.
yourself and you're slowing it down. We should talk about getting some support for you there. I mean, we should talk about again. Well, let me back up. It's your life. You could do what people. I'm of the mindset of work, 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 get all the money, do all that. I've always said making money is one of my 3 favorite things. But you're allowed to. If you're saying it's enough, that's great. It's just something that we don't hear that often here. Usually, people just want more and more and more. But if you're enjoying
And
it,
it's not enough. And I am working on getting support. Actually, yeah, more to come on that front.
okay. And we will be having a meeting later this month about developing a team, working with other people, how you could be able to do it a little bit more efficiently. And we are trying to present a workbook with every meeting now. Again, it's a lot of work, but it is something that Daniel does very, very well. And it's something that we're happy to put the research in to be able to deliver it to you. Okay, wants, needs, and brags. Anything more before we go off into the world and make some money? Now's a great time for you to plug yourself, guys. If you want to be able to, you got 16, 17 realtors from around the country that all have people. Terry, what a shocker. Hey.
I have finally, after working on it since June,
Okay.
received my associate broker's license from the state of New York. Good. Yeah. So I am now an associate broker in New York City and the county of Westchester. So I have a team now that we can take care of all of your real estate needs from Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Westchester. Yes, I'm using the voice.
Celebrate your wins, guys. We have enough crap thrown at us all the time. This is a place. Terry, you made my day. I'm so happy to hear you say that. And that was great. With that, did you have a quick comment? I thought I saw your hand go up. Maybe.
Sorry, that was a mistake. I was trying to clap for Terry.
Okay, so
thank you, Lavette.
Yay. Anyone else? There. Okay, we got her clapping now. Anyone else? Okay, and Greg. Oh, Greg beat you out there with a little.
Oh, Greg.
Greg's great. Okay. Guys, look, I'd love to get together with you. If you want to meet up with me, please do reach out to Daniel. Daniel, you could throw your email address back in there one last time. Again, tattoo it to your forearm. You should know Daniel@boganhomes.com. Great guy and incredibly helpful to all of you. Daniel, Eddie would like the prompts as well. Anybody want those prompts, please do reach out to Daniel and we will get it to you. Please utilize the service. We want you to win. We must have you win. It's just such a vital part of your career as you define success. So, Terry, are you ready?
Edmund, I'm ready.
When you say that, it makes me say, I'm really glad all of you made it here. It sure is good having you. And I look forward to seeing all of you at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time for another exciting episode of
Rain Nation.
Very good. I love that. The newcomers always say, what the hell is that guy doing? Guys, good to see all of you. Please, if you want to catch up, do give me a buzz. And I hope to see all of you either Wednesday at noon or next week at again next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.